If you'd like to remove a negative entity attachment, or you'd just like to improve your life in general, one of the best ways to do that is to raise your frequency. And one of the best ways to do that is to reduce the amount of time that you spend in low frequency emotions like fear. So that's what this video is about. Let's obliterate fear together. We all know that fear is the #1 survival emotion. We as a species, and all the species on this planet, needed that in order to survive long enough to create enough babies that we are where we are today, and that you and I, as beings of light, could occupy these beings and enjoy this life experience on this planet. But let's look at fear from a position of time. Is fear all about the past? Is it all about the present? Or is it all about the future? Think about that for a moment. It's hard to be afraid of something that's already happened. It's hard to be afraid of something that's currently happening right now. Actually, the way that works is you are only afraid of something that hasn't happened yet. Because even if you're afraid of something that's happening right now, you're actually afraid of the consequences of something that's happening right now, which have not yet occurred. That means that it is a very unique and interesting emotional experience that you can have in the now about something that's never happened. Well, okay, so that means that it's predictive in nature. You have to be able to predict the future to have a fear of this imagined future. That's very interesting. And it speaks to something that I think that we as humans are very terrible at. We are not good at predicting the future. If we were, and I say this all the time, we'd all be Bitcoin billionaires. So how could we put so much faith in the future that causes so much misery now? Well, we come about it honestly. It is our way of surviving. Fear and all the other emotions are a physiological response that our body has to stimuli. In the case of fear, our stimuli is generally our own minds. We're predicting what's going to happen. If a predator appears right in our face, our minds go, uh-oh, we're going to be eaten. We need to run away. If that same beast was actually super friendly and just wanted to come up and nuzzle with us, then that is not the stimuli of the fear. The stimuli of the fear is in here. The solution to resolving fear in our lives is not to eliminate the stimuli, because then we'd be eliminating our own brains. There's another shortcut that we can take by replacing it. Well, what do we replace fear with? Obviously, we need another emotion that is future-based. So if we look at high-frequency, positive emotions, and we look to see which ones are predictive in nature, we have to go through a few before we get to the one that I'm talking about. One of those might be gratitude. Gratitude is nice because it's very easy to get to. It's very easy to look at something or think about something in your life and say, I am grateful that I have that thing. Comes very naturally to us. However, it isn't predictive in nature. It is all about the now and sometimes about the past. I'm so grateful that I had that opportunity or that I had that person in my life. But to truly be grateful, it's all about the now, which also makes it a fantastic emotion. And if you can go there as often as possible, this will be an effective way to circumnavigate fear for sure. However, I really want to hit this on the head from a time standpoint. And the emotion that I believe is the perfect one is excitement. Can you be excited about something that's already happened? Not really. Can you be excited about something that's currently happening? Many people say yes, but I would say in that circumstance, what's actually happening is that we're in joy or we're in appreciation for this moment. To truly be excited is to say, I am excited about something that hasn't happened yet. Okay, I think we have ourselves a nice candidate. So now, can we shift from fear to excitement? That seems like a big jump, because fear is a very low frequency emotion and excitement is a very high frequency one. And it may be very difficult for you to be excited about this horrible thing that you've predicted. So how do we overcome this? First of all, you have to recognize that you are in fear. And fear disguises itself as so many different emotions. There is nervousness, there is anxiety, even anger is a form of fear. So let's say that you have been able to identify, oh, I am afraid of this upcoming thing. Now what do I do? How do I replace that with excitement? Now we have to step back again. Metaphysics says that we've all signed soul contracts to have all the experiences that we're having in these lives. Even Christianity will say that God always has a plan. So that means that everything that's happened to us so far has been by divine plan, either by our own or by God's. That's pretty good. That helps. And it helps because everything yet to occur is also by divine plan. So that means that everything that is going to happen to us is supposed to occur. What's the reason? We don't know. And that's part of the beauty of being a human. We're not supposed to know. We're supposed to explore one day, one moment, 1 hour at a time, so we can be open to whatever happens to us. That is having a human experience. Do you learn more when something good happens or when something bad happens? 99% of the time, you learn more when something bad happens. Okay. So then it's a tool. It's effective. It's helpful. I have to fail in order to learn what I need to learn to succeed. I have to fail, or something bad has to happen, so I grow in some way. That I become more resilient, or I become more wise. So that means that the thing that you're predicting that's going to go so wrong is going to bring with it incredible lessons, incredible growth. And so you have an amazing opportunity to be a brand new version of yourself, something that you can be truly proud of. Okay, so maybe the thing that we're predicting that's going to go so wrong will go so great because we'll get something out of it. And then we can look at it from the planning standpoint. It's part of the divine plan. Whatever does happen is supposed to happen. And maybe it won't make sense to us at the time, but eventually it will. Okay, so now if we can start to buy into this a little bit more, then maybe we can suddenly become excited about this thing that hasn't happened yet. If we lived in a society where we all looked at things in this same way, then every time something bad happened, we would all celebrate because we would know that something even more amazing is going to follow it. Because we're open to it. Because we know that that's how the universe works. That's how these divine plans work. We grow. So what if you could go ahead and start to look at these things that you've predicted that are going to be so wrong are actually freaking fantastic. I am excited. I am excited for the challenge of learning something new. We could look at everything and go, I just want my life to be easy. I'm tired of struggling. I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of whatever it is that you're doing that you don't want to do anymore. But even our entertainment has elements of challenge. We don't want to watch a show where a character, the main character, doesn't overcome something. We want them to succeed. We want to root for them. It's intrinsic in the way that we absorb stories and entertainment. If you play any sort of sport or game or video game, you don't want it to be easy. If you're teaching somebody how to play a game and they're not very good at it, and you just wipe the floor with them, it's not as much fun as if you have somebody who's a challenge to you. So we even want challenges in our leisure time. So if that's the case, then embrace the challenge of everyday life. Now, instead of having fear of this terrible thing that's going to happen, you can say, oh yay, this thing that I don't really want to happen represents the challenge that I'm looking for. It represents the opponent who is better at this sport than I am. It represents the main character in my favorite novel who has to overcome this thing. I want to be like that. Why can't I? I am excited for the opportunity. I am excited for the challenge of growing and becoming a better whatever I want to be. As soon as we start to look at all the challenges and all the things we fear in our life in this way, then pretty incredible things start to happen. Because there's another thing that we call the paradox. And it can go right into what we resist persists. If we don't want something to happen, it tends to. If we don't mind if it happens or not, it probably won't. So if you spend all of your time worried about something happening, then you are putting all of that energy into that thing. And we are powerful beings. We are pulling from the unlimited energy resources of the universe, and we are applying it to this thing that we don't want to have happen. Well, guess what's going to happen? The thing that we don't want. So if we switch from saying, what I resist, I embrace, then all of a sudden the thing becomes less likely to occur. As a small example, imagine a negative entity attachment telling you that it's going to be with you forever, that you're never going to be able to get rid of it. If you were to say, oh no, this is the worst possible situation I could have ever imagined, and all I can do is focus on the fact that I'm going to have it forever, well then, you are supplying the entity all those low frequencies of misery, of dread, of worry, of fear. And you're focused on the thing that you don't want, which, as the powerful being that you are, you're putting all kinds of energy into keeping it there. So you are giving it exactly what it's predicting for you, instead of saying the opposite, which is, okay, well, you must be here for a reason, so that I can learn something amazing, and so I accept the fact that you're here until I learn that lesson. Now, you are no longer focused on giving it all of your energy because you fear that result, and you are not in a fear-based response, which is low frequency, exactly the elixir that it wants to drink. So relax. You're on an incredible journey, an incredible journey of your own design. Enjoy it. It only lasts 80 years or so. And just like that, you go back to being an infinite being of light who decides, hey, you know what? It might be cool to be a human. Let's try that again. Thank you so much for watching. I have all kinds of content and materials available on my website that you can check out in the links below. You can also watch hundreds of videos that I've made over the years helping people with negative entity attachments and other aspects of life that you can take advantage of. I love you unconditionally, and I'll see you in the next video.